Hey guys, well, I guess I have to talk about it really, don't I? The Titanfall beta. I've been playing with it for a while and I figured this was as good an opportunity as any to give you my first impressions as some sort of a preview.
I'm normally the kind of gamer who plays through a single-player campaign fully before leaping into the multiplayer. I don't like the idea of immediately facing off against players that may have a ton more experience than me, as well as all of the perks of being a higher level without already having a good handle on the gameplay myself. Fortunately, getting involved at a beta stage means that everyone's coming in on a relatively equal footing. Titanfall is, however, a multiplayer-only experience, but thankfully a simple tutorial starts you off. Controls will be familiar to any shooter fan, but with a couple of tweaks. Naturally, the game is focused on these enormous mechanical titans, which you can pilot against your enemies. On foot though, rather than simply being a time when you're waiting for your titan to become available, you are extremely agile. Double jumps, wall runs, climbing up onto platforms all add to the incentives to be without the titans, which is a massively important part of the game. If titans could always outclass foot soldiers, half the game would be spent either hiding while a timer went down, or half expecting some form of microtransaction to reduce the waiting time. Instead, whenever you're on foot, you'll always have some form of anti-titan weapon that gives you a chance against the big guys, especially when you're using your size, agility, and ability to hide to the maximum potential. Anything positive you achieve for your team will also reduce the amount of time you'll have to wait for your next Titan deployment. Of course, the entire experience seems to be designed for empowerment. You'll feel massively powerful as a Titan, but not entirely outclassed without one. In fact, even if you have trouble against human enemies, squads of AI support are present on the battlefield. Killing them is much easier than live players. I don't think I've ever been killed by them, but it all adds to the feeling that you're a bigger part of the battle than the average soldier, and that's normally the main problem with multiplayer shooters. For there to be winners, there have to be losers, and no one really likes to lose. At least if you feel like you've made more of a difference, you're more likely to enjoy the experience, and that's another reason for the excellent addition of the epilogue segments. Lost the match? The game doesn't just end. Your team will be informed that your new objective is to reach an evacuation point, where a dropship will take you to safety. This new style of objective not only adds variety, but another final chapter to feel like a winner. Even if you've never scored a single kill in the match, if you make it to that dropship, you come out of the game feeling successful. Whereas the opposing team, having just won the match and watch you scurry away from your loss, still feels satisfaction from the rest of the game. It's a fantastic addition to avoid half the players having a negative experience. Graphically, the game looks nice. Hardly an enormous next-gen step-up, but certainly fluid and visually interesting enough to keep your attention. According to rumours, the beta is running at a lower resolution than the final game will manage, benefiting from a bit more time in development, so we have that to look forward to. And apparently there is some form of campaign, even just in multiplayer, but for that, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Ultimately, it seems like it's going to be a great shooter with an intriguing and fun set of unique mechanics. You may think this game has been overhyped. It won't win the console war, and I will certainly lament the lack of a single-player campaign, but it will make a lot of PC and Xbox One gamers very happy.